Who says only men can be dangerous? Many women can give males a head start in this regard because among the fair sex you can find a brutal drug baroness Pablo Escobar would be afraid of. You'll also learn about the girl who was sentenced to be in prison for 893 years. You'll find out about these girls and more in this episode. This is Infinity, and today I'm going to tell you about the most dangerous women in the world that you better not mess with. Let's go. Remember Vito Corleone? Yes, that very godfather from the movie of the same name, played by Marlon Brando. After the book and the movie came out, everyone knew that the mafia had godfathers, but did you know that it also had godmothers? The most famous and dangerous of all was Maria Licciardi, known as La Madrina, or godmother of the Neapolitan Camorra. She ruled the Licciardi Camorra clan that settled to the north of Italian Naples. Maria worked with the mafia, engaged in extortion, as well as made dirty money on fraud and illegal auctions. She became famous through human trafficking. Running a clan, the godmother introduced a new source of income. Members of her gang bought people from the Albanian mafia at a price of $2,000. These people were promised jobs in another country, which they gladly accepted, hoping to get rid of the poverty that surrounded them in their homeland. When they arrived in Naples, they found themselves in real slavery, where they were forced to do the most heinous things. All who refused or failed in their duties were simply eliminated. Licciardi had already served one term for her crimes, and now she's facing another term. The godmother had been arrested again a few months ago. Juana Barazza. Looking at some pictures of Juana Barazza, it's hard to believe that this sweet elderly woman is one of the most dangerous and creepy people in the world. It's hard to believe that this Mexican woman has gone down in history as one of the most brutal serial killers on the planet. As is usually the case, it all began with a difficult childhood. Juana's mother was an alcoholic and once traded her daughter for 3 bottles of beer, giving her to a stranger. This man turned out to be an abuser who constantly mistreated Juana. Having escaped from captivity, the Mexican woman decided to take out her anger on people. She chose elderly women as her victims, apparently because she saw them as her cruel mother. In the late 90s and early aughts, Juana committed a lot of crimes, and in 2006 she was arrested. The court accused her of 11 murders, although it's believed that about 50 people were Juana's victims. In the end, the most dangerous Mexican woman was sentenced to be in prison for 759 years. Pablo Escobar, El Chapo, Amado Fuentes. Almost everyone knows about these famous drug lords, but what about the female drug lords? They exist. And Melissa Calderon is a perfect example. Attractive appearance clouds the mind. At a glance, you can't tell that Melissa was in many ways no better than Pablo himself. Calderon began her criminal career in 2005, working for the Damaso cartel, affiliated with the Sinaloa cartel, where El Chapo was the head. Melissa was distinguished by her strong character and innate propensity for cruelty. With these qualities, she quickly ascended the hierarchical ladder in the drug cartel. Melissa, nicknamed La China, was particularly cruel to her victims and thus kept entire states of Mexico in fear. La China was unwilling to submit to anyone and waged war on those who opposed her. She was paranoid and eliminated anyone who might turn her over to the authorities. Melissa enjoyed causing misery and wreaking havoc. She ended up going so far by the standards of a criminal that Melissa was turned over to the police by her own boyfriend. La China got even more than her countrywoman who didn't like older women. The court sentenced the female version of Pablo Escobar to be in prison for 893 years. Maria Leon. When we think of mothers with many children, we usually think of a woman who spends most of her time at home doing household chores and looking after all her children. It's unlikely that such a woman would have much time to do anything, but the American Maria Leon managed to find free time to take care of business, crime business. Despite the fact that Maria was the mother of 13 children, she led a very active and busy life of crime. Leon was the ringleader of a gang that engaged in the transportation of illegal substances and contract murderers. Her influence in the United States was so great that even the Mexican mafia recognized her, which gave Maria the status of one of the most dangerous gangsters of Los Angeles. But there was no happy ending in the life of the criminal. Being on the run in Mexico, she found out that her son had been eliminated by the police, came to the funeral by an illegal route, and was immediately captured and arrested. In fact, you don't have to be a hardcore criminal to be one of the most dangerous women in the world. A girl who can wield a gun, as well as Max Payne or Hitman, can be rightfully added to this episode. Stay tuned to learn about this girl and more. All the female criminals I've told you about have something to do with guns in one way or another. Oren Julie has also something to do with guns, but she's far away from the criminal world. On the contrary, she fights against evil, because in the past, this Israeli woman served in the Israel Defense Forces. From the first day of her conscription, she fell in love with guns and realized that it was a passion that would last a lifetime. After serving in the army and getting into the reserve, Oren didn't part with weapons, but instead started to spend even more time with machine guns and pistols. While Oren is not evil, it's better not to mess with her. On the internet, she's nicknamed the Queen of Guns, not without reason. Her love for guns not only fuels Julie's life, but also has made the Israeli woman a star. Her Instagram account alone has more than 600,000 followers. Shina West. Some people prefer firearms, and some prefer edged weapons. Shina West doesn't really like guns. She likes knives and swords better. Shina's very cool with katanas. These Japanese swords are known for their incredible sharpness. The slightest careless move and a cut is guaranteed. But Shina's not afraid of cuts because she wields swords amazingly. And even if she doesn't have her favorite katana with her, she can take out her enemies with a pole or stick because she's a master of Japanese art of bujutsu. In general, you definitely shouldn't mess with such a samurai. Shina is very dangerous when she has a weapon. For a long time, the strongest woman in the world was considered to be Donna Moore, a British woman who amazed everyone with her unreal power pulling heavy objects. Last year, the title of the strongest woman in the world went to Rebecca Roberts, her compatriot. She recently won the championship among the strongest women in the world, thus becoming not only the strongest woman, but also one of the most dangerous women in the world. Rebecca is certainly able to stand for herself, so it's better not to mess with her. It seems that for Rebecca, nothing's impossible. This is proven by her story. Until recently, she was in bad shape, weighed over 190 kilos, and didn't even claim to be the world's strongest woman. But then she met a fitness trainer with whom she fell in love and quickly got in shape. In a matter of months, Rebecca lost almost 60 kilos, got bulked up, and realized her dream, becoming the strongest girl on earth. I think Rebecca will stay on top for a long time. Jessie Graff. She boasts strength, agility, and endurance. They call her the Ninja Woman. The nickname fits Jessie perfectly. She's a stunt woman, a black belt in Taekwondo, trained in 5 other styles of martial arts, a pole vault champion, and a circus acrobat. Even all this is enough to understand that Jessie is very powerful and dangerous. But that's not all. A few years ago, she became the first woman to complete the first round of the American Ninja Warrior Finals. Even a lot of males can't pass the tough obstacle course at this competition, which only confirms Jessie's power. This girl is definitely not to be messed with. She has the strength to deal with any bully. That's all, guys. Which of these dangerous girls impressed you the most? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and see you later.